Welcome back to the show. It's officially summer, and you know what that means? Cutting off friends who don't have AC and making new friends who do have AC. And of course, toxic media messaging about weight gain.
If you've tried to put on your pre-pandemic jeans, you may find they are a little snug. Well, you can blame the Quarantine 15.
Well, the so-called Quarantine 15 has turned into a weight gain of 25 to 30 pounds for some of the youngest Americans.
The Quarantine 15, with people packing on the pounds during the pandemic.
They're calling it the Quarantine 15 or 19 or however it happened for you.
The Quarantine 15 is also what I called the heist team I put together during lockdown. We never wound up stealing anything except each other's hearts. Quarantine 15 is a play on the term freshman 15, which refers to the number of pounds college kids gain during their freshman year. But it's not even a real thing. They should have at least named it after a truthful moment in college, like the quarantine hearing your roommate give an enthusiastic HJ while you study for your chem exam. I can't tell you anything about chemistry, but if anyone needs an HJ, call me. I can talk you through it with my eyes closed. After spending all this time in lockdown, instead of being grateful for the fact that we're vaxxed and sort of waxed during a pandemic, the weight loss industry is continuing their decades-long crusade to make people, particularly women, worry about losing weight. And while there's never a correct time for weight loss fear-mongering, right now, as we emerge from the ground like cicadas ready to shed our skin and hump, it is really not the time. But weight loss companies do not give a The $78 billion weight loss industry lost almost a quarter of its value in 2020, mostly because people were too busy trying to survive to put losing weight on their to-do lists. I only had one thing on my to-do list last year, which was to figure out how to get out of virtual happy hour with my friends. It was really hard because everyone wants to talk to the HJ queen. But as states have eased up pandemic restrictions, the pressure to lose weight has intensified. Fitness companies have seen a surge in new demand, and diet companies are already using pandemic-related language to lure people in.
Want to get back to you again? Slim fast. Shed those newfound pounds.
The Quarantine 15. So not happening. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months with Nutrisystem.
When you're on a weight loss journey, hugs, fist bumps, and pats on the back are what keep you going. But in a time when high fives are being put on hold, Noom is here. So when we do get back to high fives and hugs, you'll have something extra to celebrate.
Actually, what motivates me is picturing myself running away from high fives. Like, what if Drake goes down low and then he calls me out for being too slow? I wouldn't be able to handle it. I am so exhausted that society has already come back to the same fat-shaming place because experts have long said that diets don't really work in the long term.
Diets don't work. It's actually a well-established predictor of weight gain, as has been shown repeatedly in research. When we examine the body's regulatory mechanisms, it shouldn't be too surprising that few people sustain weight loss from a calorie reduction diet. Dieting triggers a reduction in the hormone leptin, which actually increases appetite and decreases metabolism. Just the opposite of what you're shooting for if you're trying to lose weight.
When it comes to weight, many factors are out of our control, like metabolism, genetics, or, the stress of staying inside for over a year because we're afraid to breathe someone else's nasty air. Even more than usual, we're getting slapped in the face with reminders about our weight, whether it's from fat-phobic social media memes or condescending articles that compare people who spent the pandemic riding their Pelotons to people who sat on their couches drinking Chardonnay and munching on Cheetos. They didn't even take the time to celebrate the real heroes of the pandemic, the people who did both at the same time. We can't escape the body shaming because people can't stop talking about it.
When you add stress snacking, working from home, gym closures, and the coronavirus pandemic, you might start seeing your midsection bulge a little bit. So a lot of people, including you, I'm sure, me too, we're all finding comfort in binging on junk food during these stressful times.
Just because the gym is closed doesn't mean that you can't work out. Now is a really good time to take advantage of all the workouts that you've wanted to do, but they were too expensive. Now you have no excuse. You can do them for absolutely free in your living room.
No excuse? I don't owe you an excuse. I don't even know you, Haley. You want to say that to my face? Good, because I love to make new friends. I'm lonely. Aw, thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more from Full Frontal, hit subscribe and visit our page for more videos. Or if you'd like to be radicalized, leave YouTube on autoplay.